Hello, champions. We all keep hearing about road safety, and that is something that you've heard over and over. And what are the most common things that you hear when you talk about road safety? Wear a helmet, wear a seat belt, drive slow, um, follow signals. Uh, Majorly, that's it, right? Let's keep these five things aside and let's start talking something new. How many of you know what blind spots are? Think about it. While riding or driving, what are your blind spots? Okay, let me give you an idea. Now, when you are riding a bike, okay, you can see the front, of course, so there's no blind spot there. To see behind, you have your mirrors that help you see behind, okay, but there's a problem with the mirrors. They only show you what's right behind you, okay. uh, so let's say till an angle they will show you what is there, but beyond that it goes beyond the mirrors as well, so it will not show you what's there. That area from where the mirror is missing to the back of your shoulder is called the blind spot on a bike. It could be on the left side or it could be on the right side. So as a biker you would probably have two major blind spots where you generally would not be able to see, right? And in a car there are two more, because there are these A pillars that are in the front. So where the front windscreen is, where the glass ends, there is a pillar there, right? The area behind that pillar diagonally, that is another blind spot. It could be on the left side, could be on the right side. Generally the one closer to the driver is the right one, which creates a bigger angle behind it. I know people will say that's a thin pillar, but at an angle, at a small distance, it could cover an entire truck. I could show you images of that, and you will see that. You could even Google that, and you will see blind spots for cars. You will see the area that I'm talking about. There are in fact many other blind spots as such, but these are the four main that we need to focus on today to explain. Now, when you know these blind spots, how do you avoid them? Okay. Now, there are two things. One, you avoid it for yourself, that no one is in your blind spot. And two, you should not be in someone else's blind spot, right? So, first, we will talk about how do you avoid your blind spots. So, there are two things or two ways that you can majorly avoid these blind spots. First is to use indicators while changing lanes. Now, I know many of you will say I use indicators while turning, but using indicators while changing lanes needs another discipline, which is to stay in one lane if you don't need to change. And that lane should not be the extreme right lane, because that is the overtaking lane. So it's better to stay in the second lane, right? And let's say if you are in the second lane and you have to go to the right to the first lane, you should give your indicator, let your indicator blink 3 times, and then you change the lane. Why 3 times? It's like ready, steady, go. You're letting the other person know in that lane that you are coming. Now, what will he do? The person who's in that lane, probably in your blind spot, will either honk and say, hey, wait, I'm there, or he might slow down to say, okay, come into my lane. Which is rare, I know, but yes, that does happen as well. I personally give lanes many times like that, because the person is given an indicator, he's letting you know nicely that I'm coming, please take care, right? And you are probably in his blind spot. That is one. And the second thing that I learned in the US is that while changing lanes, you have to turn your head and look into that blind spot to see if anybody is there in that right lane where you're going. Or if you're going to the left lane, you turn your head and look into that blind spot to see if anybody is there. So turning of the head is the other thing that is important, that you need to know, that the way you can avoid this. So these are the two major things that you can use to avoid blind spots. So today we learned about blind spots, we learned about indicators, and we learned about turning your head. One more thing that I want to add here is, let's just imagine it's a rainy day, and you are going out of after office. Your office is done. Imagining that we were going to office, and you are getting out of the office. You have to cross the road. Your cab or your bus or your vehicle or anything is across the road, and because of the rain, the cars have started zooming across the road, right? One goes by, two goes by, three goes by, four goes by, 10 goes by, 15 goes by, 20 go by, but they're not giving you the place to cross the road. You are standing on a zebra crossing, but they are still not giving you time to cross the road. How does it feel? Irritated, right? Because every passing car is making you stand in the rain that longer, and you are getting that irritated, right? To avoid that, let's turn the scenario around. You are in a car in a comfortable enclosure, and someone is standing there on the road and getting wet in the rain. What would you do? So please start letting pedestrians cross the road. Thank you.